Today's news bulletin at 1. We've been Stephen Tallow first the headlines. President Joseph Walker describes the government proposed $1 billion national budget as a key achievement for economic growth. Illicit sent minors alleged threatened to kill residents if they try to remove them from a neighborhood along the Roberts International Airport Highway. National Issuance Corporation of Liberia threw into controversy following the circulation of a leaked letter sent to President Joseph Walker alleging payroll fraud, tribalism, and widening power struggle within the state-owned entity. And away from Liberia, U.S. President Donald Trump says he does not want Somali immigrants in the U.S., telling reporters they should go back to where they came from. Those were the headlines, now the news in detail. President Joseph Walker on Tuesday said his administration's proposed $1 billion national budget represents a key achievement for economic growth. The last cabinet retreat for 2025 took place in Tottenham City. In his opening statement, President Walker praised his team for helping achieve the $1 billion proposed national budget. A Liberian leader called on his officials to collaborate in order to meet their targets on the government's performance management system. He added that a few things are happening in agriculture where rice production on the rise with nearly 15,000 hectares under cultivation. The president also praised the citizens for supporting the security sector in the fight against drugs. According to him, the government is fully prepared to intensify its efforts against drug abuse and trafficking. The president further spoke strongly about corruption and called for the fast tracking of cases involving suspended officials in the government. He also praised the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and other line ministries for strategically representing Liberia abroad. Illicit sin minors have allegedly threatened to kill residents of if they try to remove them from a neighborhood along the Roberts International Airport Highway. Illegal mining resurfaced in the civil community Benga town after soldiers aided residents to stop the activities this May. But this term, the miners are determined to stay residents say, even if it means shedding blood. The daylight interviewed four people who confirmed the miners' threats against them. Gau Beza, who lives on the road to the illegal mine, found a charm at her doorstep one morning after quarreling with the miners the previous day. However, the miners had denied threatening to harm anyone, saying they only returned things that residents rent at them. The miners admit that their activities in Seaview are illegal but blame poverty and unemployment. The illegal sand manor is located between the community and the beach, destroying the mangroves and the marshes, and set a mine called Block 40. The National Insurance Corporation of Liberia has been thrown into controversy following the circulation of a leaked letter sent to President Joseph Walker alleging payroll fraud, tribalism, internal conflicts, and a widening power struggle within the state-owned entity. The communication, purportedly written by an employee identified as Rick James, accuses Deputy Managing Director Abdullah Soare of orchestrating internal strife and manipulating the employment process to undermine. The corporation says suspended managing director not to Jabba. In the letter titled to Breach of Employment Policy, the writer claims that Nicola has descended into chaos since July 2024 when Soare administration is an effort to bring down MD Noto Jabba with alleged support from broad member Asumana Jala. The communication also suggests widespread payroll malpractice, alleging that individuals were hired illegally and placed on locals' payroll without adherence to employment procedures. According to James, at least five individuals were reportedly placed on locals' payroll without undergoing the Civil Service Agency vetting process. A move he says has fueled suspicion and heightened internal tensions. He alleged that acting managing director Abdullah Swari, human resource manager VC Kone, and acting board chairman as Manajala may have been involved in manipulating, partnering, and altering the corporation's CSA payroll between October and December 2025. Criminal Court A Judge Roosevelt Willie on Tuesday banned a sharp legal and constitutional debate after removing a seated juror solely because she is a member of the opposition Congress for Democratic Change, a decision lawyers say has no basis in Liberian law and raises concerns over judicial impartiality. The juror, who has already been cleared by both for prosecution and defense during the proceeding, was struck from the panel despite explicit constitutional protections. Article 70 of the Liberian Constitution guarantees every citizen the right to freely associate with any political party. Anti-political affiliation is not listed among the statutory grounds for juror disqualification. Adding to the controversy, Masurado County attorney had earlier acknowledged on the court record that the prosecution was fully aware of the jurors' CDC's membership during selection, but did not challenge her because it was not an issue. Despite this concession or no allegation of misconduct or evidence of bias, Judge Willie ordered her removal, a move offense that defense lawyers condemned as unprecedented, unconstitutional, and dangerous for the integrity of Liberia's jury system. The development threatens to further complicate a trial already marked by delays, with several defendants still held without bond. Representative for the family of District Number 7 in Bond County has issued a public condemnation of China Union accused the concessionaire of persistently violating the social and community development commitments spelled out in its mineral development agreement with the government of Liberia. Speaking on behalf of the residents of Fuma and Sanoye districts, home to the company's one mines operations, Representative Famala said China Union continues to extract and transport iron ore to China while failing to deliver the essential benefits promised to impacted communities. He described the company's conduct as an affront to local citizens and a breach of both the spirit and letter of its binding agreement. According to the lawmaker, communities have endured years of unfulfilled assurances since China Union took over the Bon Mines concession. He noted that the MDA requires the company to provide meaningful employment opportunities for local residents, invest in community development programs, and support key infrastructure such as roads, schools, and health facilities. He stressed that residents have grown increasingly frustrated with the reaching gap between the company's commitments and the lived reality in affected towns and villages. A wave of dissatisfaction and quiet outrage swept through the Liberian Senate on Tuesday as lawmakers reacted to a briefing by the chairman Prince Moi on a longer pending will bill seeking to reduce lawmakers' salaries to 5,000 United States dollars. The bill titled an act fixing the monthly remuneration of the legislature was first introduced by Senator Abraham Darius Dillon during the 54th legislature in August 2020. It has resurfaced in the 55th legislature, proposing a 37.5% cut from the current $8,000 monthly salary of each senator. For years, the bill has stalled due to the legislature reluctance to deliberate on measures that will slash members' take home pay. On Tuesday, December 2, the Senate chambers were filled with murmurs and sad discussions as Senator Moy delivered his briefing. An atmosphere observers described as the lawmakers' familiar political maneuvering to dodge an unpopular decision. In his presentation, Senator Moy revealed that the draft national budget for fiscal year 2026 currently projects senator salaries at 8,000 United States dollars. However, he noted that the 5,000 figure will be integrated into the draft budget. But several senators, including Joseph Jala, Simon Taylor, and Creighton Donkey, raised concerns and murmur throughout the briefing, signaling strong opposition. You're listening to Blaze News from the official voice of the Blaze Communications Network Incorporated, located in the rehab area of the old boss turning point. We're being Stephen Talu. A joint 9-member delegation coordinated by the National Elections Commission of Liberia is currently in Accra, Ghana, assessing the country's electoral system and its successful implementation of electoral reforms and boundary demarcation. The NEC in a release said this strategic strategy towards seeks to strengthen Liberia's electoral framework by aligning it with proven regional best practices. By gaining first-hand knowledge of Ghana's experience, Liberia aims to adopt reforms that address past electoral challenges, boost voter confidence, and promote greater citizens' participation in the democratic process. The NEC delegation includes Councillor Ernest Morgan Awa, Commissioner Atuni Sengbe, Executive Director and Head of Secretariat, Councillor Avin Jallo, Senior Legal Counsel, Madam Emma Tamba, Dastogba, Deputy Executive Director for Operations, Madam Dede Pusa, Director of Fee Coordination, among others. The release notes that the study tour reinforces a comprehensive and collaborative approach to electoral reform, bringing together the NEC, the House of Representatives, the Law Reform Commission, and the UNDP to ensure reforms that are both technically and sound and legally robust. The participation of the Law Reform Commission is vital for examining how legal reforms can strengthen Liberia's electoral laws, or why the UNDP continues to provide technical and financial support to enhance electoral capacity. NAFA Acting Director General Savras Assembly says the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority inherited deep financial and institutional troubles, including more than $3.1 million in liabilities and steadily declining revenue. He insists that the agency remains committed to contributing 500,000 United States dollars to Liberia's 2026 national budget despite the challenges. Testifying before the House of Representatives on Tuesday, Assembly pushed back against the claims that NAFA had refused to support the government's fiscal framework. He said the agency's contribution reflects the reality of what the current leadership encountered when it took over in March and the urgent need to stabilize operations before projecting higher revenue. The inherited $3.1 million liability, according to Assembly, includes areas owed to vendors such as NASCOP, the National Port Authority, and other service providers. All claims, he said, have been forwarded to the General Auditing Commission for verification, with a formal audit report expected later this month. NAFA's staffing structure poses another major challenge. The agency inherited 203 employees whose combined wage bill totals up to $2.4 million annually, nearly the entire $3.2 million NAFA says it generates each year. And away from whom U.S. President Donald Trump has said he does not want Somali immigrants in the U.S., telling reporters that they should go back to where they came from and their country is no good for a reason. Trump said the U.S. will go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. His disparaging comments came as immigration authorities were reported to be planning an enforcement operation in Minnesota's large Somali community. Officials in the state have condemned the plan, arguing it will unfairly sweep up American citizens who may appear to be from the Eastern African nation. And as Blaze News in detail to end the news, recap once more of the headlines. President Joseph Walker describes government proposed $1 billion national budget. Illicit sand miners allegedly threatened to kill residents if they try to remove them from a neighborhood along the Roberts International Airport Highway. National Insurance Company Corporation of Liberia threw into controversy following the circulation of a leaked letter sent to President Joseph Walker alleging payroll fraud, tribalism, and widening power struggle within their state-owned entity. And away from whom U.S. President Donald Trump says he does not want Somali immigrants in the U.S., telling reporters they should go back to where they came from. Blaze News Bulletin at 1 with me, Stephen Talu. Good afternoon, and thanks for listening.